and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Vote blue, no matter who. And liberals, Biden supporters, K-Hive, they're all having a collective meltdown. A meltdown. Oh no, a meltdown of Dr. Cornel West running as a third-party candidate. Everyone is angry and sad and furious. First, I want to pull up this tweet from Benjamin Dixon, who, by the way, apparently has us blocked. Benjamin, we never said anything to you, buddy. I found this out a few weeks ago, and I thought this is perfect. Perfect to bring this up because, you know, not only are we blocked by Anna Kasparian, but now I guess we're blocked by Benjamin Dixon. We're not allowed to see his tweets, but that's why I have a lot of love for Sabby Sabs, who screenshot this. Because Benjamin Dixon, Benny, wants you to remain in the same party that cheated Bernie. Selects the candidate that has superdelegates. This fear-based mentality is pointless because both parties support Wall Street, not the people. Well said, Sabby. All right, if you're not following her YouTube channel, please do so. She has done phenomenal work and has done some great groundbreaking interviews. Benjamin Dixon. When I heard about my beloved brother's campaign for president, I immediately thought of President Ron DeSantis' first 100 days. Dr. Cornel West will inspire a wonderful campaign of hope, justice, and liberation, and will just get enough support for DeSantis to win the White House. F off, Benjamin Dixon. F right off. F off. Got to pull up this tweet here from the Vanguard. Love you, Dr. West. But with all due respect, the Green Party is right there and needs a good candidate, such as yourself, to get 5% running with the People's Party is unserious and beneath you. To which I got to say, shout out to Nico House. Thank you, Nico, for calling those jagoffs out. You're clearly new to this, so let me explain to you as a person who's got some time in. The Green Party at the top is as corrupt, in some cases more corrupt, than the Democratic Party. It also had a history of undermining black presidential candidates in their party. Nico House is telling the truth, and I'll tell you why. The Illinois Green Party at one point was a legitimate party here in 2010. Then the Green Party shit the bed. They did. They screwed it up. They royally screwed it up. And the Green Party could have, in theory, after 2016, really built a strong movement. They could have built their infrastructure up. They could have built themselves as a third party, but they didn't. And then in 2020, they run with Howie Hawkins. The way I look at Howie Hawkins, he reminds me of that lawyer chicken from Futurama. Am I being mean? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But collectively, all of the media, they're all kind of concerned now that a third-party candidate is actually showing some challenge to Biden. Because guess what, Democratic voters? You don't have your fancy superdelegates. Now, of course, obviously, the Democratic Party and Republican Party have laws at the state and federal level to prevent third parties from being on the debate stage and being on the ballot. And it's an arduous task. The Green Party has to deal with it. The Libertarian Party has to deal with it. And now the People's Party has to deal with it as well. All third parties are going to have to deal with the monumental effort of getting ballot access. I want to play this video from CNN after I just got done curb stomping them. Shout out again to Case Study QB for finding all these gems. Here, watch how the media talks about Dr. Cornel West.
The People's Party is a liberal progressive party. It is run by a former Bernie Sanders staffer. The question is, again, Joe Biden's president, 50,000 votes in 3 states. Donald Trump could still be president. So you look at any third-party challenge and you say, should we take this seriously? Do they have the ballot access? That's what it requires.
Yeah, not to get to 270 electoral votes yet. Right. We do not have that kind of ballot access, which makes this, as you were just describing it, a true protest. Now, you mentioned Bernie Sanders. Remember, Cornel West was one of Bernie Sanders' most vocal supporters. So again, he does come from a wing of the party that Joe Biden has faced before in his efforts.
And I wonder if part of the reason that Cornel West is running as a third-party candidate and those who support him want to pull from Biden. Again, we know that, for example, support among Black males was a little bit soft in the 2022.
You can't hold Biden's feet to the fire. If you listen to Majority Report or TYT and they tell you, we just got to push Biden to the left, we got to vote for him and hold his feet to the fire, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. If Fat Tony and Sammy Boy Cedar tell you that, they're lying to you. Tell me, these past 4 years, the progressives, independents get anything they want? No. And Fox News is always going to come up with this stupid BS like, oh, Bernie Sanders and the socialists are running the White House. No, they're not. No, they're not, Fox. That's a lie. Come on, Fox News. I know that saying communism and socialism is the only thing you have in your thesaurus, but come on. Seriously, be real.
Midterm. So, if they want a place to go as an alternative to supporting Biden, then they could look to Cornel West, and that could be a problem for Biden.
It could Georgia, Wisconsin. Stop right there. We could go on. The list could go from there.
Michigan, which was obviously
Michigan. If they get the ballot access and if they get a little bit of attention, so it's something we watch again in these volatile times. We watch everything.
Now, something else I want to pull up here. This is from Fox News. Again, discussing Dr. Cornel West. This is a threat to the president as an African-American leader is challenging him in a third-party run. Biden needs black voters to win re-election, to which I got to say, again, vote blue no matter who. All you triggered people who have Trump derangement syndrome. Biden was against the civil rights movement. He worked with Republican segregationists. He didn't want his white kids to be around black kids. He was against busing and desegregation. He gave a eulogy to Strom Thurmond. If you don't know who that is, vote blue no matter who, or anyone that's so triggered who are part of the SJW industrial complex. I know. Cancel culture, whatever. No one cares anymore. Go protest in front of Trump Tower. Waste your time. Strom Thurmond had a long and brutal history and was against any type of desegregation. He was against the civil rights movement, and Biden was his good friend. Hey, Bernie, I know you got arrested. You stood in solidarity with the civil rights movement, but your good friend Joe Biden, he didn't like what you were doing. Your friend, your buddy, your pal.
Happening on the left, I think, is a little more fascinating, maybe.
Laura, look, there's a clearly growing disenchantment with Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate, and it's coming from the left. RFK Jr. has already jumped into the race. He did a big Twitter interview today. Well, now Cornel West is throwing his scarf into the presidential ring.
In these bleak times, I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party. Neither political party wants to tell the truth about Wall Street, about Ukraine, about the Pentagon, about big tech. Do we have what it takes? We shall see.
We shall see indeed, Laura. Look, this is a threat to the president. As an African-American leader here, is challenging him in a third-party run. And Biden needs black voters to win re-election. As Congressman Donalds was telling you a moment ago, black America has been taken for granted, and nobody else is talking about these issues. Both RFK Jr. and Cornel West are going to push issues that Biden has been trying to cover up for years.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Biden's never going to debate them, and the media will do their best to ignore them. But I've got to say, Cornel West, he ticked off all those issues, and I'm thinking, okay, surveillance state, Pentagon, Ukraine. I agree with him on probably all those issues.
And oh my goodness, here's where Fox News gave away the secret sauce to its audience. Look, Republican voters, conservative voters. I'm not talking to you politicians. Go away, politicians. I'm talking to average people. No matter what state you live in, be it in Georgia, or Florida, or Texas, Montana, Hawaii, California, North and South Carolina, my friendly neighbors from Indiana and Wisconsin, Michigan, all over, even New York State, all of you, all across the country. Voters, no matter where you stand on the political spectrum, we have a lot of things in common. The two-party system, the Democratic and Republican parties, they don't like you, they don't think about you, they don't respect you. Okay? Really, seriously. Pour yourself a nice cup of tea. Check out Unusual Whales on Twitter. Check out their website, and you're going to find out what your lawmakers are doing. They're insider trading. They're living their best lives, eating the finest meals, living in the most fanciest of mansions. They got gold-plated healthcare. They actually have Medicare for all for themselves, not for you or your family. We got a lot more in common and where we all stand on the issues than we think.
Yeah. Remember, he used to come on the radio show where the show a while ago.
I know, and he's been on this show with us, Laura. And RFK Jr. is going down to the border for 3 days, something Biden certainly doesn't want to talk about. We'll see if the Democratic Party begins to look anew at these issues and if they make a difference.
Never.
Now, I want to pull up another video here, too, because, again, now we got something from MSNBC. And, again, shout out to Case Study QB. Please support his YouTube channel and Odyssey page because his Twitter account is wrongly being censored. Elon Musk, please fix that.
So Democrats are nervous.
Well, we see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doing better in polls than we would have expected from his primary challenge. And Cornel West yesterday announcing he'll run as a third-party candidate, the People's Party candidate. He has this, President Biden has this appeal to the center. He has some problems, I think, on his left flank with progressives who are not happy. We're not happy with the debt deal and might be prone to peel off to a third-party candidate. It doesn't take that many voters to peel off to create a problem.
Yeah. And the thing is, voters are tired. They're tired of the Democratic Party. They're tired of the BS from the Republican Party. It is time for us to have something else, something new, something different. It's long overdue. Hang on, but we're not done yet because the fantastic people at Bloomberg also want to weigh in. By the way, just a side note, all of you watching are more informed and more intelligent than any of these jagoff pundit talent people at MSNBC, Bloomberg, CNN, or Fox News. All of you have what it takes, and all of you are well aware of the neoliberal lies being fed to us by the DNC and the RNC.
That is the unity candidate, Jeannie, and we don't have one yet, but we keep hearing about one, whether it's Larry Hogan, the former governor of Maryland, whether it's Joe Manchin, a name that keeps popping.
Bloomberg, you're talking out of your rear end.
Up here, is that something that Joe Biden should actually be worried about?
I don't think so. I think the only path to the presidency in the United States historically and in the modern era is via one of the two major political parties. So,
by the way, I want to give a shout out to Dana Fairbanks. Their faces are hilarious. You can see the fear. Oh, Dana and everyone else watching, not only can we see the fear, we could smell the fear. We can taste the fear. And guess what? We don't have to respect these pundits, these talent people, these talentless hack frauds in corporate media. Because you know what? They kept on saying, oh, no, you must be afraid. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm ready to laugh at them. And I'm ready to push back. Are you?
the one thing that you do have to worry about is if a third-party candidate gets a lot of support and somehow strips you or takes away some support. So that is a concern. But at this point, it would be an awful long shot. We saw Cornel West today coming in. You know, we may see some others, but it's a real long shot at this point that they could really do much damage. If somebody was out there like potentially a Bernie Sanders or somebody else, a little bit more concerning.
Yeah, and that person, as it stands right now, is potentially Dr. Cornel West. Now, hold on. The people at BSDNC want to bombard you again with saying, I don't think he's going to find a huge following. Look, voters don't want Biden. Now, Donald Trump has a huge following, and unlike Bernie or Biden, Trump knows how to rally his support. The other Republican candidates, no, they don't. We covered on the show on how, again, Republican voters want Trump. And there's a very good chance Trump can win the Republican primary. Very good chance. But voters in general, independents, because more Americans identify themselves as independents, want something different. But yet BSDNC, here's where we're going to start lying to you.
Also jumping into the 2024 race is political activist Cornel West, who announced yesterday he's running for the People's Party nomination. He's a big name among progressive Democrats, throwing his support behind Senator Bernie Sanders in his White House bid back in 2020. Of course, you probably remember what happened in 2016 when you had Jill Stein and Gary Johnson running. Some have argued that hurt Clinton.
No, it didn't. God damn it. They're pulling up the popular vote. Look at this. This right here is a goddamn lie. This right here, popular vote. First, vote blue no matter who, or even diehard Republican red voters. Listen, I'm going to let you all in a little secret. Hold on. I got to talk to you face to face. Direct eye contact. Look at me. Look at me. Popular vote doesn't matter in this country. The Electoral College matters. So even if good old Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party and Dr. Jill Stein, even if all their voters went to Hillary Clinton, it still wouldn't matter. Because see that guy smiling, the orange Cheeto, Donald Trump? He won the most important thing that matters, that supersedes popular vote. It's called the Electoral College. So if Democrats actually gave a damn, if they really did want to fight, they'd do whatever they could to get rid of the Electoral College. Hell, even the Republican Party should have done the same thing too, but they didn't. So popular vote means crap in this country. Now, other democracies, it matters. In other republics, it matters. Just not here in America. Okay? All right, just throwing it out there. This whole idea that Dr. Jill Stein or Ralph Nader way back in 2000 during the Bush Al Gore election, that they're somehow a threat, that Gary Johnson was a threat. You know what? Those two candidates, Gary Johnson and Dr. Jill Stein, at every step of the way, their campaigns were roadblocked and stopped from being on the debate stage. Libertarians and Greens, though, you really need to up your game. Seriously. Up your goddamn game.
Should President Biden be worried about West siphoning off votes from him?
I think that the White House should be concerned about any legitimate third-party candidate that has ballot access in the most important state.
And here's how you again know that corporate media is lying to you, because the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have done everything they can at state and federal level to prevent third parties from being on a debate stage and being on the ballot. Hard Lens Media, when we first got started, hell, we talked about that a lot. We've got a treasure trove of interviews. We've talked to third-party candidates, BSDNC. Maybe that's something you should inform your audience, that the two-party system, the Democrats and Republicans, work together. I know, bipartisanship, surprisingly, work together to prevent Americans from having another choice. So diehard Democratic voters, diehard Republican voters, congratulations. You're eating neoliberal soup and voting along with the system that's constantly screwing you up the wazoo. Break away from the two-party system. Break away. Build movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C. Support third parties. Support independent candidates. Support citizen ballot initiatives that call for the abolishment of all political parties. That's the dream.
Whether it's somebody like Cornel West, who I don't think is going to find a huge following, but we know there's a party out there, the group, the No Labels group, that is looking to potentially run somebody. If they're in contested states pulling people away from voting for the Democrat, all that does is help the Republican nominee and presumably Donald Trump.
That's a goddamn lie. It's oh no, Putin bad. Oh no, virus. Oh no, orange Cheeto. Listen, MSNBC, don't make me do your job for you. Y'all know you need Donald Trump for the ratings. CNN needed it. Hell, they fired their CEO. That's a one good thing he did do. He brought in views. Hey, CNN, you think you could pull that off again? Yeah, probably not, because you'll upset the talent. Stupid jagoffs. God damn it. Surrounded by morons. I'm not going to bombard you guys anymore with that jagoff. No, I'm sorry. If you want to sit through corporate media and get lied to, that's on you, all right? I won't do that to you. That's violence. But hang on. We got one more video that's going to have in a little bit more sanity. A little bit more sanity. Talking about how Biden is going to lose black voters, which, again, he will. And it's coming from Fox News, of all places.
And we have Cornel West in the mix. Do you think he's a serious threat?
Without a doubt. And here's why. Look, you make the point about ballot access. Very true, Jesse. It's very hard to get on the ballot. Currently, his party is only on the ballot in 3 states. But here is where this could make a huge difference. 2016, according to NBC, 6% of those who voted for a third-party candidate. Compare that to the last election, 2%. So a decrease of 4% for third-party candidates. And of those, they were breaking for Joe Biden on a 2-to-1 basis.
By the way, shout out to Silver Surfer. A vote for Biden is a vote for Harris. That's true. Biden will be the oldest sitting president in U.S. history if he's reelected. You know what that means? If something bad happens to him, we get Kamala. Ugh.
So you could make an argument third parties
were key to the 2016 election. You don't only have him, though. There's this thing called the No Labels Party that they're working up a ticket that they may put on the ballot. They've got, I think it's $70 million, Jesse, and they're on the ballot in Arizona already. So,
yeah, that No Labels Party was Joe Manchin and other people. Probably people like who are going to be attached to the hip, like Cinema too, will be in there. Yeah. That to my fellow independents, that No Labels Party. That's a no bueno. That's a no good. You stay away from that, okay? You stay away. That's bad news bears right there.
Third-party candidates may be Joe's undoing.
What is it about Cornel West that might attract Black Americans, younger Americans, Bernie bros?
Authenticity. I mean, Joe Biden gave these well-woven mannequin-like talking points to the Black community and the Latino community, and people bought into it, and then he failed them. I mean, when you have 34% of Black voters saying that Biden's delivered, 34%, that is ridiculously low for a president that needs Black voters. And you contrast that with under Trump, median income for Black households, for Hispanic households increased by 7%. He made good on a promise to these communities, and that's why you've seen minorities disproportionately moving towards the Republican Party, albeit very small, but that movement is real. So they need to watch out over in Pennsylvania Avenue because you can't take Black voters for granted. They're not just going to show up.
Exactly. So let's have democracy in the chat. Let's have democracy in the chat this time around. This is including all the third parties. As it stands right now, People's Party, Green Party, Libertarian Party. I'm not going to include the No Labels because that's a Democratic and Republican think tank operation. That's not legitimate. People's Party, Green Party, Libertarian Party. Do you think this time around third-party candidates are going to get more attention and be more of a threat to the establishment? A type 1 if you think, no, it's always going to be the same, lackluster, nothing will fundamentally change. A type 2, I think this time around Americans have had it up to here with Democratic politicians and Republican politicians. I'm looking forward to seeing your feedback. But if you want to learn more, stay tuned with Hard Lens Media because this election year, I think it's going to be very, very entertaining.